Hey, man. Over there. Okay, it's feeding time though. So let's go ahead and get these jokers fed up real quick. So today we're doing something a little different than I normally show everybody. Now, since we're working on the book, I'm gonna start showing some of y'all some of the other stuff that we do by way of feeding our animals, right? So yeah, let's get this, man. Let's get this. Alright, so today, for the last couple of days, I've been talking to a lot of people about utilizing raw goat's milk. I get my raw goat's milk locally. The goats are farmed locally. They're grass-fed. No hormones added, no antibiotics, no steroids, or anything of that sort is used with these goats. And I utilize the goat milk as well as the goat meat from this farmer. All right, so recently we've been talking about using fillers. What are fillers? Fillers are pretty much, those dry goods that you incorporate into your dog's diet to kind of stretch out your raw mixes. Most of the times that people use the fillers is when they are feeding large numbers of dogs and they are feeding pretty much a 98% raw diet to their dogs, but they want to add a little more into it to kind of stretch it. What we use for fillers here, everything every dog on this yard can tolerate, is rice and oats. Alright, so we take the rice, we take the oats, and we grind both of them down to a fine powder. When we grind them down to a fine powder, it allows us to utilize it a little more and be able to actually help our dogs consume it a little better than they would if you left it in its whole form. The way we utilize the dry goods with our dogs is we mix it in with the actual goat milk. The goat milk actually does saturate the dry goods and it fluffs it up so it actually sticks to our dog's belly. In the summertime, we do not use as much dry goods as we do in the wintertime. The reason we use it more so in the wintertime is we want to have our dogs a little bit heavier so we can take our dogs outside in the cold and they can be out there a little longer than they would in, let's say, in their summer condition type weight. Now when we do fluctuate the weight of our actual dogs, we don't go, like 10 pounds extra fat in the wintertime and then, drop 10 pounds in the summertime so they're nice and lean. We do fluctuate our dog's weight typically about 3 to 5 pounds depending on the dog, to help them be a little heavier in the winter, like I said, and a little lighter in the summer. But yeah, let's get to it. So we have that for them today. Let me grab their other stuff real quick. My bad. Feast your eyes on this, take a look up. For meat that lies like this, it takes a butcher. Tells you if you eat the meat, it gives you. We have the filler with the goat milk. Get back in your pen. Get back in your pen. And then we also have, we're gonna do chicken necks today, and then we're gonna do the duck and buffalo blend that I made Monday or Tuesday. One of these days this week it was made. But pretty much on a daily basis, what I tell people is mix up your dog's diet. Stop giving your dog the same exact thing day in and day out. Also, don't get stuck on using only one protein source. When you get stuck on using one protein source, you're not really utilizing the benefits of raw feeding or a natural diet for your animals. The other thing that I try to stress to a lot of people is when you actually provide your animals with a little extra, enhancing what you're already doing by way of giving them a natural diet. That's your meat, your bone, and your organs. You're supposed to add in some vegetation. A lot of people say, the vegetation is not needed for our animals, but what a lot of people seem to forget but love to utilize and love to reference is when they say, well, you never see a wolf in the wild eat an apple or pick an apple. It's like, hold up, there is documentation, footage of actual different canine species foraging, eating berries, eating, some grasses, some leaves, just all types of stuff. Animals are a lot smarter than we know, and they actually do a lot more than we're actually able to capture on camera, okay? So we utilize our veggies, our fruits, our roots, our herbs, and things of that sort to enhance the meat, to enhance the organs, to enhance the bone that we already provide our animals. If you didn't know, and we also utilize spices. If you didn't know, one of the best spices that you can actually give to your animal to help your animal absorb as many nutrients as possible is black pepper. Black pepper actually increases the absorption rate of nutrients. But you have to be careful with that as well if you're actually giving your dog a medication. Because if you're giving your dog a medication, you can actually overdose a lot quicker using that medication. You know, it's crazy, man. But it's a whole lot of stuff that people should learn, in my opinion, when it comes down to feeding your dogs and caring for your dogs and doing it a natural way. The way a lot of people state what they do is they say, I feed a raw diet. I'm really getting away from using that phrase and getting back to my roots from those people who taught me back in the 90s, the late 90s, about feeding a natural diet. The lady who turned me on to it never once used raw diet. She always called it a natural diet, because when I start to look at it now, and compare what I'm doing and what some of other people are doing compared to, let's say those that say, yeah, I feed raw too, it's two separate things. Those of us that say, hey, we feed more of a natural style diet, we feed more things like, a variety of protein sources as well as fruits and vegetables and root herbs and things of that source, because we understand the power that those products actually have when it comes to keeping our dogs healthy, as well as keeping our dogs strong, as well as extending the longevity, as well as healing ourselves naturally. And if you don't believe me, just look at through history of mankind, all the different cultures that we have, all the different foods that we utilize. But a lot of those same foods or different foods are actually the same. It's just how they use it to heal themselves. So if the way I think, this is how I think now. If I can do as much research about it as what can it do for the human, I can do the same amount of research into the product to see if it's safe for our dogs. But a lot of people are very fearful of doing that because of one simple thing. When people say don't give your dogs garlic, garlic is so beneficial for your dogs. What people are not telling you is the full extent of it. Do not feed garlic in overabundance. Meaning, do not give your 50-pound dog one whole garlic cluster. That's way too much. Instead, give them 1 or 2 cloves. That's very safe and very effective at keeping your dog healthy. Garlic does things from, helping keep fleas and mosquitoes away, all the way to actually destroying some cancer cells. So it's a whole lot of stuff in there, man. It's a whole lot of stuff that people actually need to start to learn. But hey, it takes people like me and other pioneers who are willing to risk our own animals to learn if those products actually work and how they work, and the amount of food or the dosage you should actually give to your dog, But if everybody stays fearful and never tries it, how are we going to know this shit? All I can say, man, hopefully by the end of the year, I have the NoVACAIN nutrition book done. I'm working on it. I'm trying to get it done. I'm trying to finish compiling all my notes from starting in 95 till today. And it's a lot of notes in there. It's a lot of notes in there. So we're going to get it. We're going to get it done for you. Well, anyway, the dry goods, the rice and the oats. The rice and the oats. See, yeah, you can see it. It looks like pancake batter. I allowed the goat's milk, the raw goat's milk, to actually be soaked into it. You're going to give this to your animals. This is like porridge. I love that consistency right there. It's like porridge. So when you give that to your animals, you want to put that actually on top of the other stuff that you're going to feed them. Like I said, we have our mix of the duck and the buffalo. The duck and the buffalo also has veggies, fruits, root herbs, and things of that sort in it. And then on top of that, we're actually going to give our dogs a little more meaty bone. The meaty bones that we love to use here on a typical basis are necks, like chicken, like turkey, like duck, and any type of bird neck. Now, if you ever was to hit me up and say, yo, I feed a natural diet to my dog's stool is a little loose, and I say add bone, what I'm actually speaking of is adding more of a bird bone with no skin. The bird bones, the bird necks are the perfect ratio of meat to bone. If your dog's stool is loose and you're giving it a nice meat diet, what you need is the bone. The bone consistency will actually stiffen it up. Pumpkin, on the other hand, if you were to give your dog pumpkin at that present moment, if you stiffen it up, you're lucky. But most likely what you're going to do is cause it to come out more, because the dog doesn't actually need any more soft foods, and it definitely don't need any fiber. What it actually needs is that bone to actually thicken up the poop and make it a solid stool. Alright? So we're going to feed the dogs. I'm going to show you the dogs, and I'm going to shut this joint off so I can get it done. Yeah, so let's start with that shit, man. I got a lot of stuff going on. So we're going to start with King Ragnar's big ass. King Ragnar is our biggest dog here on the yard. King Ragnar eats anywhere between 3 pounds to 5 pounds of food. 3 pounds to 5 pounds of food a day. The way we like to mix it up and stretch out our food, once again, is by using fillers. Fillers are your friends, but you can only use fillers if your animals can tolerate them. That's your rice, that's your pasta, that's your oats, that's your beans. One of my favorite beans that we use here on this yard is lentils. Use them lentils. Dogs love some freaking lentils. Alright, so let's make King Ragnar join up real quick, and then I'm going to shut it down. But I want y'all to see this. Alright, cut the skin along. Set 0. But that's what the butcher's yelling. Well, son, do you want to hear well done? Or well, son, do you want to be well done? It's your choice, listen to the story that I'm telling. Hey, well, son, do you want to hear well done? I love this stuff. Man, I hate using broccoli. Broccoli stinks so bad. But I do put it into my dog's diet from time to time. Not on a typical basis. Alright, and then I want to take some porridge and put some of the porridge right on top of his raw meat, and he'll be good to go. So when it comes down to using fillers, typically what I tell people when you're using fillers, use 10 to 20% of the actual weight of the food that the dog eat as fillers. So meaning if your dog is fed 2 pounds of food a day, if you're using the fillers on a 10% scale, it's going to be 2 ounces of your meat and bone replaced with fillers. If you're doing on the 20% scale, it's going to be 4 ounces of meat and bone replaced by fillers. So let's check out King Ragnar's joint, and then I'm going to shut this shit down. How you turn this joint? There we go. Alright, so we got King Ragnar's. We have this porridge here. We actually got 8 ounces of porridge for King Ragnar. We have his mix here. The mix has bones and muscle meats and organs, and it has your fruits, your vegetables, and all of that mixed into there. And also it has some buffalo tripe in there. And then we have our meaty bones, the chicken neck. You know what I mean? So we mix up the variety for our animals. We give it to them. They consume it. They love 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 it. And all I can really tell y'all, man, is this. I mean, just look at them. Hey, big dog. Come here, man. Come here, big dog. I mean, just look at him, man. That coat is shining, man. That coat is shining. Look, you want that porridge, man. They love this porridge, man. They love that shit. You know? Just look at the puppies, man. If y'all don't believe the diet works and the way we feed our animals work, just look at it. This is 3 different generations that y'all looking at right here that have all been raised on our blended dog food and the way we feed our dogs. So, like I say, and this dog here, this is a 6th generation dog that I've bred that has been fed her entire life the way I feed now. Much love, much respect, man. Let me feed my dogs. Talk to y'all later on.